half a month later, outside of Flowing Flame Sand Field, a battleship with a body length of more than 10 feet was quietly suspended in midair. Inside the battleship, Xianxia, Haoan, Wu Yi, Qianyu and others were waiting anxiously. After the Emperor Garden changed that day, Jiang Kai and Yang Yan left the battleship and disappeared, and have not returned until this moment. Everyone didn't know where they went, but this carefully crafted warship arrived at Flowing Flame Sandfield smoothly, but Xianxia and the others did not dare to go deep, so they could only park the warship outside and wait. Fortunately, after the first battle half a month ago, Dragub Cave Mountain became famous, so even if the battleship hovering here is quite eye-catching, no one dared to make trouble. It is inevitable to be pointed out by others. After the first layer of blazing area in the Flowing Flame Sandfield disappeared, many cultivators came here to inquire about news. Therefore, the current Flowing Flame Sandfield is not a place void of people. On the contrary, it is quite lively. Now that such a warship suddenly appeared here, it was naturally noticeable. Xianxia and the others have been waiting here for 3 days, but Yang Kai and Yang Yan are still nowhere to be seen. Just when they don't know what to do, the bucktooth cultivator Zheqi suddenly raised his brows, revealing a touch of joy. Master is back, more than 3,000 miles away from here. Oh! Wu Yi was overjoyed, without any doubt towards him, and said happily, since Senior Yi is back, then Yang Kai and sister Yang Yan must also be back. With that said, she immediately ordered the disciples to open the warship hatch and wait. Sure enough, after a while, a flowing light shot from the sky, and in a flash, it came to the front of the battleship. When the smoke dissipated, a very small warship appeared there. It looked like a shark in the sea. It is the Flying Shark battle shuttle made by Yang Yan. Yang Kai and the others flew out from the inside. Yang Yan shot Saint Chi casually, and took the Flying Shark war shuttle back. Floating in the air, Yang Kai let out his spiritual mind, frowning. He noticed that many cultivators were staying near Flowing Flame Sandfield when he and others showed up. They all showed a curious look, looking at them and whispering. Standing in the same place and pondering for a moment, Yang Kai suddenly urged Saint Chi and shouted loudly, from today onwards, the area around 100 miles of Flowing Flame Sandfield is all under the jurisdiction of my Dragon Cave Mountain. Please leave quickly. If you get closer, those could be regarded as a provocation to my Dragon Cave Mountain, so come at your own risk. Countless people were in an uproar. Although Dragon Cave Mountain had fought a powerful forces in the first battle half a month ago, and caused a lot of top-tier sects to suffer greatly. But after all, these news are only heard from the ears, and no one has come to confirm whether they are true or not. At this moment, Jiang Kai's words are undoubtedly like stabbing a hornet's nest. After the blazing area of the first layer of Flowing Flame Sandfield disappeared strangely, the Genius Treasure area on the second floor was exposed, although the cultivators who came here did not find many genius treasures here. But occasionally some rare minerals can be found. There are even more rumors that in the area where the second-tier Genius Treasure area was located, there is also a wealthy Saint Crystal vein, where countless Saint Crystals are stored, enough to double the strength of a first-line sect. Saint Crystal mine is a good thing that is in short supply on Shadowed Star. Although the major forces have Saint Crystal mine in their hands, there are not many, and the mining efficiency is not high. Most of the cultivators who came here came with the idea of searching for the Saint Crystal veins. Yang Kai wanted to drive them all away with a single word: how could they bear it? In an instant, the group of people were angry, and the noise and clamor were endless. The so-called law does not exist in the public, not to mention that Flowing Flame Sandfield is one of the 3 forbidden places of the Shadowed Star, and everyone can enter and exit it. Why does Yang Kai do this? Listening to the noise and clamor from all directions, Jiang Kai's expression was indifferent and unmoved. From now on, he will regard the supreme profound sect ruins in the Flowing Flame Sandfield as a place to stay. Naturally, it is impossible for irrelevant people to stay nearby. Shut up. Yang Kai didn't say a word, and the woman surnamed Yi suddenly screamed. With her top cultivation level of third order void return stage coupled with the strange divine soul secret technique, this shout was not loud, but it made the noisy people dizzy and shocked. The scene immediately calmed down. Beautiful eyes looked straight to their eyes, and the woman surnamed Yi said coldly, "I will give you one day, and if this palace master sees you still staying here after a day, then don't blame this palace master for being rude." When the voice fell, a powerful pressure suddenly spread to the surroundings. The sky and the earth seemed to have solidified at this moment. All the cultivators who were wrapped in this invisible force were shocked to find that they could not move, speak, and even their Saint Chi can't work anymore. Under this force, one's own body seemed to be a small existence like an ant. Can these cats and dogs be able to resist the already powerful force? Even the top powerhouses who are also in the third order void return stage, in front of the woman surnamed Yi, is like being trapped in a quagmire, not to mention them. Third order void return stage. Suddenly the knowledgeable person saw the terrifying cultivation of the woman surnamed Yi, and was terrified. The strong is respected, this is the unchanging truth. The woman surnamed Yi only slightly showed her sharp edge, so that the noisy and clamoring people shut their mouths obediently. After she took back her own power, many cultivators sweating and sacrificing the star shuttle at an extremely fast speed and fled outwards. There are indeed many benefits and opportunities in the second-tier genius treasure area of Flowing Flame Sand Field, but it is better to stay alive. If the life is gone, what about the great benefits in front of you? Although they was unwilling compared with their own life, it is undoubtedly quite unwise to stay here to provoke this powerful existence. After the first batch of cultivators who fled, more people left quickly. After only half at tea time, all of the cultivators who had gathered around was gone. The woman surnamed Yi gave a cold snort, turned around to rush to Yang Yan, nodded gently, and respectfully said, "My lord, the idlers and others have been removed." N. Yang Yan replied faintly, turned her head and glanced at the flame barrier blocking the front. With a flick of her wrist, the 3 flame rings flew out and turned into a flame barrier that melted into the flowing flame sand. The next moment, the flame barrier split a gap strangely, enough to allow the battleship to pass safely. The 3-layer blazing area in the flowing flame sand field was originally transformed by the 3 flame rings, and it was an emperor treasure. Yang Yan, as the wisp of spirit of the great emperor, could naturally drive it, although the second ring of fire could not be recovered. But it is still possible to keep it separate. After Yang Kai and Yang Yan and the other rushed into the battleship, the humming sound rang, and the battleship slowly rushed into Flowing Flame Sand Field, unimpeded all the way. After a while, in the original 4th layer of Flowing Flame Sand Field, in front of the Supreme Profound Sect ruins, Yang Kai and others stood in front of the Guardian Formation, staring at the misty mountains. Between the clouds and fog, there are pavilions looming, the mountains are full of spiritual energy, and the clear springs in the mountains are beautiful, as if they are not in the world. Standing here, Wu Yi and others were breathing the air exaggeratedly, their expressions excited, and their faces flushed. Before Yang Kai said that there was a new place to stay, and it was 100 times better than Dragon Cave Mountain, they would still be suspicious, thinking it was unlikely, but standing here at the moment, they didn't have the slightest doubt. Before entering the interior, they already felt such a strong world spiritual energy. If they did enter inside, what would it be like? The claim that it is hundreds of times better than Dragon Cave Mountain is indeed not an exaggeration. Moreover, if they can really settle down here, there is a flame barrier guarding the flowing flame sand, and no one can pose a threat to them. This is simply a paradise, enough to make anyone crazy and coveted. There is such an existence in Flowing Flame Sand Field. It's just that this Guardian Formation looks solid, much deeper than that of Dragon Cave Mountain, and don't know if it can be broken. When everyone was secretly worried, Yang Yan turned to look at Yang Kai and stretched out a hand towards him, her lips squirming slightly. No one heard her talking, but Yang Kai looked clear, stretched out his hand on the space ring and took out a token-like thing and handed it to Yang Yan. Emperor token. The woman surnamed Yi had a vicious look, and she saw that it was a piece of Star Emperor token, and then she thought about the Star Emperor token she took out, which had been passed down for countless years in order to heal her injuries. And her face revealed a color of embarrassment and uneasiness. The piece of Star Emperor token that she had before is the treasure handed down by the great emperor back then. Although the divine ability sealed inside has already been used, it can't be taken out and exchanged at will. Whenever she thinks of this, the woman surnamed Yi is anxious, uneasy, and wonder if her lord will blame her for this. Fortunately, Xianxia didn't seem to want to pursue it, holding the Star Emperor token, pouring the Saint Qi into it, and then pasting it on the light barrier of the Guardian formation. With a flash of light, countless complicated rune patterns appeared on the seemingly solid Guardian formation, swimming like fish on the light barrier, and then, the buzzing sound rang, accompanied with strong energy fluctuations. Supreme Profound Sect's Guardian formation suddenly separated to the sides, revealing a straight path to the inside. Although he had a premonition, Xianxia still smiled bitterly when Xianxia opened the light barrier in front of him so easily. When he went deep into the fourth layer of flowing flame sand field, he saw with his own eyes the Langqing cultivator from Star Emperor Mountain blasting the light barrier, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't destroy it. At that time, the guy called Langqing invited him to come and help, but unfortunately he refused. Thinking about it now, the decision at that time was indeed extremely wise. Although this Guardian formation had remained for countless years, it was not something that a Saint King Realm cultivator could break with brute force. Let's go. Xianxia's expression is a little complicated. It seems that she is cherishing something, but she seems a little clueless. After all, she is not the great emperor real body. Although she inherited some memories of the emperor, it is not too complete. She could only felt a strange feeling of familiarity and unfamiliarity. To be continued.